I hope you're having a great day and I hope you have a great weekend. I want to talk to you about something that is plaguing thousands of people, young people. Before, when you heard of urine incontinence, that means you don't have control over your bladder. Sometimes you pass out small bits of urine without your knowledge, unconsciously. What happens is the bladder gets weak over time. And today there are a couple of things which are in relation with your lifestyle that you can be in control of. We all think that urinary incontinence happens to just the elderly people, but it's happening to people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. While this can be embarrassing, it is also uncomfortable. But more than that, there is something that we can do to prevent this. One of the biggest problems today, of course, sometimes if you have had a bladder surgery or you've had a cancer of the bladder or you've had a kidney problem, this results, one of the side effects would be urinary incontinence. If you've gone through prostate radiation in a man, you've gone through certain chemotherapies, this can affect your bladder and you can have urinary incontinence. But for everyone else, we need to understand that one of the main reasons for urinary incontinence is we don't pee when we should. Sometimes we're so busy in meetings, we're so busy on social media, we're so busy. Sometimes we're caught in a situation where we're stuck in traffic and we want to pee and we can't pee. Now, while the bladder can hold on to urine for a while, when it becomes uncomfortable, what's happening in your bladder is your bladder starts to get weaker and weaker. It also starts to get enlarged. And after a while, there's weakness in your bladder and weakness in your muscles. It loses its ability to hold on to urine anymore. Now, this is not going to happen with you just holding on to your urine once or twice. When we make it a habit, we want to pee, but we don't pee. We want to pee, but we don't pee. Over time, the bladder gets weaker and weaker. Plus, there are other dangers holding your urine in your bladder too long. Urinary tract infections. We need to understand that the kidney works as a filter. It's taking out toxic waste, becomes urine, fills the bladder. As your bladder fills to a particular level, there are nerves that communicate with your brain, giving you a signal that, hey, you got to go and pee right now. When we ignore that signal, the bladder can still hold on to your urine, but you can understand. Let's say you have a balloon and it fills with water, okay, and it fills with more water, and you keep that water in the balloon is going to get weaker and weaker over time. It's the same thing with the bladder. Now, that's a lot of toxic waste in your urine. You're keeping it in your bladder for a longer period of time, which means there's a possibility of infection. And a lot of urinary tract infections can happen for several reasons, but one of them is also when you hold your urine too long in your bladder. For people who already have an enlarged prostate, holding on to your urine in your bladder can actually make it worse. The third thing, in rare cases, you can also have kidney disease caused by holding urine in your bladder too long, which is why sometimes when you're hospitalized with certain conditions, they are always measuring your urine output. There is a certain amount of urine that you have to pass, and if you're not passing it, there is probably retention of urine in your bladder, and then it has to be removed. So please understand, today we live busy lives, but understand that your body is designed to work for you every second of the day and night. So if it's giving you a signal to pee, you want to honor that signal. You want to respect that signal and you want to go and pee. So a lot of elderly people as well as a lot of young people, we think that, okay, let my Netflix program get over and then I'll pee. Or let me finish social media, then I'll pee. But when you need to pee, please pee. Now, there's a genuine problem in our country. You may be stuck in traffic, which is why I advise people, if you are traveling on the road on public transport where you know you can be delayed, do not have water before you travel. Plan your water intake in such a way that mostly you're never caught in a situation with a full bladder and there's nothing that you can do about it. You got to hold on to that urine. Like I said, it's okay once, twice, the body can beautifully adapt. But when you start to hold on to this urine in the bladder for a long time, it is creating all these problems. The same thing like constipation. Constipation, why do we poop? Because it's toxic waste that has to come out of our body. So the longer we keep toxic waste in our system, the more chances of disease, inflammation, acid, salts, all of that stuff, and that affects us. It's the same thing with the bladder. The bladder is holding on to urine, but you need to pass out that urine as quickly as possible. So today, you may not be worried about things like incontinence, but you got to understand this builds up over the months and years. So you don't want to be 35 and 40 and 50 and have this problem because in your 20s and 30s and 40s, you're not honoring the human body and you're not peeing when you should. So please understand, the human body is always speaking to you. The human body is always whispering to you and telling you what you should do at the right time. If we listen, most problems most problems disappear. If we don't listen, those little whispers now become screams and then become symptoms, and those symptoms become your ailments and your diseases. Have a great weekend, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.